What's up, everybody? And we got Porcelan on the radar today. First of all, are you okay? I know you just performed, so are you a little tired or are you feeling good?
No, I'm just getting the day started.
Doing a little press tour here in New York?
Yes.
How's that going?
It's going really great so far.
You're enjoying it?
Yes, meeting a lot of wonderful people and visionaries, and it's just nice to be a part of this, such a creative environment.
Now, is this your first time in New York, or?
No, I'm in New York a lot.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So, first of all, congratulations
Thank you.
on Lois Lane being in the top 20 on Billboard. That's an accomplishment for
Thank
sure.
you.
So, how did that song like come about? You know, like what was the inspiration behind that song and the recording of it and all that?
The inspiration behind Lois Lane is pretty much just that the strong woman, because Lois Lane is independent.
Right.
She is strong.
She is.
And, you know, she has that great relationship with Superman, and I thought that was the perfect dynamic for a song because women want to feel like they can be secure and they can be rescued and not in a needy, desperate kind of way. It's like, you know, we're strong, we're independent, we do our own thing, but sometimes you want somebody to have your back because women get tired.
Right.
You know, and everybody needs someone, but you want to have standards. You
Of
don't
course.
just want anything. And Superman, whenever I've ever heard women talk about a man, they always refer to him as wanting a Superman.
Oh,
not just
okay.
a man, you know, it's like, I need a Superman, strong, bronze, brains.
Kind of like
He's
someone who can
the best
like
of both worlds.
who can
He's
like
Clark
protect you and do
Kent.
that. Yeah.
And he's Superman. So that's how Lois Lane came about. I just thought it would be a great concept.
That is a dope concept.
And
I love like the meaning behind it.
Yeah, thanks. And I also sat down with writer Daenerys Holmes, produced by Hamilton Hart and David Porter. It was just really nice.
And I know the visuals were actually done by someone who's worked with like Chris Brown, Erik White. Am I right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was it like working with him? Did he like give you any insight on like, you know, other people's he's worked with, you know, like working with Chris Brown or something like that?
It was briefly. You know, we were so in tune with portraying the right vision for the music video. I definitely got to try out my acting, test out my acting skills.
I feel
I'm
like
like, oh shoot, I'm doing something. It was a few lines and a few, you know, act like you're in love, show those passionate moments with the bodyguard, and it was just nice. The concept behind that was supposed to be similar to Bodyguard, but we didn't want to take it Whitney Houston Bodyguard. I know a lot of people haven't, you know, remember that movie or haven't seen it, but we wanted to take that, but we wanted it to be more original and just put a twist and a cool spin on it. So
that was dope. Yeah.
the human, the real life version of a Superman for the concept of that video was my bodyguard. And I was an artist, a famous woman, and it was just really nice.
So did you find because I know it's hard for sometimes for, you know, performers or artists to make that crossover to like acting, and sometimes, you know, you don't know if it's one of those things that you don't know if you're good at until you do it. So how did you think you did? I mean, I thought you did great, but how did you but like in that moment, how did you think like you did?
I felt like I was doing good. You know, I'm like, I feel like I really did something. It was little small things, but I had the opportunity to talk with people on the set that have been in other movies. My bodyguard, I remember him playing on That's So Raven, and he has to hit the floor.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't know until the video came out. There was like, that's Divine from Raven,
no
That's So
way.
Raven, and then he has to hit the floor. He's on the Hit the Floor show. So I kind of sponged off of him and got his insight on his acting and how do you pretend, you know, you love someone that you don't really know, and he gave me really, really, really good tips.
So do you think acting is something else you're gonna pursue in like the future?
Yeah, because it's fun and it's exciting. A lot of people, you see the movie and you probably think it's like super serious, but behind the scene, everybody's cracking up.
Yeah, because I feel like whenever you watch the behind the scenes videos, it's like you'll see them like on set and it'll be like super serious and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they're
but then
probably
there's like
laughing between.
yeah, and then you're like, how does it look like that on the screen? But then behind the scenes, it's all jokes and everybody's just having a good old time and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you really need those breaks after being caught up in a serious moment and showing, oh, I love you so much. And then it's like the camera's off. It's like you don't even know that person. So it's kind of funny. You're building a relationship at the same time. You're pretending to have a relationship with them and be in love with them. And it was just really nice. I definitely see myself getting into acting.
That's awesome. So when the song, hit onto the Billboard chart, stuff like that, when did you find out, and like what was like your just like initial reaction? Because that's like huge.
Well, I'm always asking questions. I
Okay.
always want to know what's going on and
Mhm.
how the people are receiving,
Mhm.
how fans and supporters are receiving the song. So I've pretty much been watching step by step every week. I'm calling. I'm like, well, what number is it now? What is it doing? The spin. So how people are responding to it, the visual also. So I've kind of known step by step what has been going on week to week. So I've got to see it go from down at the bottom to the 30s to the 20s, and it's just nice to see something grow so significantly. It's very nice.
That's great. I can imagine the anxiety of like just it getting higher, and every week you're just like, I gotta see if it got higher. I gotta see if it gets higher, because I know it takes like they won't tell you until like the following week and then the following week. So like every like what days do the number comes out? Like Monday? They come out on like Monday. So like every week where you were like first thing in the morning you would get up and check your phone to see if it got higher, or
I have a great team. So they call me. I'm out of the bed. I'm fresh out of the bed. They're waking me up saying, your song is number 20,
right,
or it's number 19 or whatever. So
they're like, you don't look, don't worry about it. We'll call you. You don't go looking. We'll give you the good news if it happens. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's great to have an amazing team behind you. So I want to talk about you working with David Porter. And I know he has like, he's a Grammy Award winning writer, and he's worked with like Mariah Carey. He has writing credits for like Drake and stuff like that. So how did you link up with him, and like do you have more songs that you've worked on with him, or was it just that one song, or
Oh my God. My entire project, everything, every piece of music that I've worked on thus far, he is definitely a major key part in it, because he developed me as well as other artists at my label, Made in Memphis Entertainment. So yeah, he's in every aspect of my music.
So your upcoming EP, do you have a name for it yet, or no?
No, not yet.
Okay, you don't want to spill the beans on that name just yet?
No, we're definitely working towards that. We've finished new music. We're just putting everything together and gonna present an amazing package and story for all my fans and supporters.
That's cool. So he worked on you. He worked with you on that upcoming project, correct?
Yes.
So what can you tell us about that upcoming project? Like what type of sounds we'll be hearing? If there'll be like a little, experimenting on other genres, you working with other artists, things of that nature.
And there's definitely diversity within the project, but there's also a sound. It's soulful, it's fresh, and it's strong. And it's the relationship perspective from a younger generation, which is my generation, but it still has that level of experience and maturity in it. And it's a vibe. I love to describe it as a vibe, because a vibe to me is something that you can feel. And when I did the music and I was singing it, I felt it. So I'm like, ooh, they gonna like this. And I'm in the studio, I'm like, ooh, that stank face you make when it sound real good. So it's definitely a vibe. I have the ballads that are closer to the heart, speak from an emotional perspective, has that emotional connectivity and a lot of conviction in it. And then I have my fun records, that Crush, that First Love. So it's definitely a story within the project from every point in a relationship.
Right.
So I think the ladies and the fellas will like it.
See, that's awesome. So you mentioned like the younger generation, and so something that I've noticed recently is that there's like a huge emergence again of like female R&B singers, and so you have like the LMAs, the Hers, the SZAs, etc. So how do you like feel about now that because I personally believe that we haven't had something like that in a while, where there's been this many, strong female R&B singers out on the market and like just making noise everywhere. How do you feel about your place in this new space, as well as, the rising of female R&B again?
I'm really excited. I think that I couldn't have come out at a better time.
Oh, yeah, it's perfect. Perfect timing.
And it wasn't planned, but I mean, I love her. I love LMA. I love SZA. We're all so different, and we speak to a certain particular audience, but we're definitely all really strong within
Right.
that genre. And I felt like it needed to be a new generation, a younger generation of R&B, because everything has been so hip hop, and there's still people in the world who want to hear about relationships. You know, love is
Yeah.
very important. A lot of people, that love never goes out of style. So I'm happy to be a part of that. And within all of that, I definitely have established my own lane, and I'm just happy I'm received so well and respected for that. And people have missed that soulful, mature aspect in music. And me being young, it's like, oh, girl, you talk like you got some sense.
And that's great because, like I said, there was a big kind of, I feel, gap between the older generation of R&B singers versus, you know, now, where you said it's mostly hip hop now, which is great. Everybody loves to hear, you know, your Drakes and whatever, and they're doing their own R&B thing on the side too. But there wasn't, until, you know, up until a year or two ago, there wasn't like a big splash of just, you know, strong female R&B singers, which granted we were all younger back then, but now is like the perfect time for it because there's so many of them, but everybody, like you said, has their own unique sound, which I think is the best part about it, because, you know, if someone may not be for you, there's also someone else that you might like at the same time, which I think is great. And I think you like you said, you fit perfectly in this space now that has been created, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So I know you're from Memphis. How now, is your sound primarily based off like your experiences growing up, or have you kind of drawn your sound? I'm sure you're traveling a lot now. Have you also found new sounds from other places like New York or whatever other cities you've gone to, and has that, you know, been put into the music you're making now for your upcoming project?
Well, when I was younger, growing up, I listened to a lot of oldies, a lot of old school, and Stax is definitely the poster child for Memphis. It is Memphis.
Right.
The real music, the blues, the soul. So many great artists like Otis Redding, Sammy Dave, the Staple Singers have come out of Memphis, and I grew up on that. So that is the Memphis sound, and I always wanted to stay true to that because that's what makes Memphians so authentic in the music industry. I feel like we bring something significant to it as far as the realness, because a lot of people from Memphis come out of the church. I came out of the church.
Oh, okay.
You know? So bringing that and bringing that realness and that rawness to the industry, I think that people appreciate what Memphis has to offer. I mean, everywhere I go, even Cali, New York, everywhere that I've been, they love the Memphis sound and Stax. So I feel like that's what I bring to the
Now,
industry.
I might be wrong here, but Black Boy JB is from Memphis. Am I correct? Or is he from a different city? He's from Memphis, right? So do you ever see yourself possibly working with, you know, someone of the likes of him or another hip hop artist from your city or somewhere else?
Yes, absolutely. Drake, Yo Gotti. I love Moneybagg Yo. I think that they're all great and they all have their own lanes and they're definitely doing their own thing. So I think it'll be a strong Memphis song.
That would be kind of dope, right? That would be dope.
That would be
get
definitely.
Get a nice little hard like Memphis beat over the back of it. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one person to work with, alive or pass away, who would you pick?
If I could pick one person to work with alive, obviously Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
I love very, very much. I had the honor of performing on stage with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
what was that like?
I could barely breathe.
Was it like one of those things where it's like you got on stage and then you got off stage and you're like, you didn't even remember? It was just such like a moment.
It was such a moment, and I was in the moment, and it happened so fast. But it's definitely something I will always appreciate. And somebody within the younger generation I would love to work with is Drake. I love him very much. His style, he speaks to the R&B lane as well as hip hop, and I think that that'll be an awesome dynamic.
I think his side B thing was very smart. Like, I didn't know someone could make me cry but also want to dance at the same time.
Right.
So did Stevie Wonder give you any advice, or did he you know, any words of encouragement or anything like that when you were on stage with him?
Well, we did the song. It wasn't really, we had great conversation. But just being around him was inspiring. He said that we have to represent as the younger generations of music and set an example and be leaders. And I think that that means something because you have to stand for something in the industry, being an entertainer. And being positive. He's one of the deepest, profound people I've ever met. So It was
That's
definitely
amazing.
nice hearing that from him.
That's amazing. So proud of everything you've done. Congratulations on all your success. Real quick, let the people know where they can get your music, where they can find your music videos. When I know you can't say when your project is coming, but like a little time window would be nice. It's a little something, something.
Okay, everybody can find my music on all social media platforms. Lois Lane, my newest single,
Where they
which
can
I'm
follow you.
promoting. Yep, they can follow me on at Porcelan Music. Porcelan. That's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And they can check out all the latest information, tours, interviews, all that on my website, porcelanmusic.com.
Ooh, perfect. Thank you so much for coming today. I wish you the best
Thank
of luck,
you
and
for having me.
I look forward to hearing your EP whenever it drops. Since you're not spilling the beans just yet.
We got some new music releasing next year.
Oh man, it's exciting. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.